Today we're here to honor and remember a fearless warrior for liberty, beloved leader who galvanized the next generation like nobody I've ever seen before, and an American patriot of the deepest conviction, the finest quality and the highest caliber, the late, great Charlie Kirk.
On September 10th, 2025, at age 31, Charlie Kirk was assassinated while addressing a group of students. The United States honors him as a martyr for truth and freedom.
Let's go live now to Nathan Daschle. He's a Democrat lobbyist and CEO of DB3 by the Daschle Group. I think it's prudent to pause on that moment that we saw at the White House just a few hours ago, posthumously awarded the Medal of Freedom. That is Charlie Kirk. We also have that comparison to what's happened to Josh Shapiro as well, Nathan.
Yeah, I 100% endorse the president's actions in awarding the medal posthumously to Charlie Kirk. This is an issue where we can easily set partisan differences aside, and we all agree that violence in political discourse has no place. And whether it's against Democrats or Republicans, I think we can all agree. And I will say that while social media will occasionally pull out the outliers on the left in the Democratic Party who might take issue with this, the vast majority of Democrats will absolutely agree with this and think that they will absolutely condone Charlie Kirk's assassination and support awarding him posthumously this Medal of Freedom.
In this world, in 2025, the rise of social media and it being so dominant in our lives, you can't ignore the outliers anymore. Even if they are a small group, they are amplified. What do we do with those outliers, do you think, Nathan?
Well, that's the thing. They're amplified, but we have to keep them in context. You know, social media, and I hear this from both people on the left and the right, that social media rage baits people. And people, once they start to engage on a subject matter, social media will continue to reinforce that. And they will show them images, videos that will engender that rage. And what's imperative for all of us is to keep all of this in perspective and to think critically about the information we receive and to understand that the people who are making the most noise are in the distinct minority on both sides of the aisle.
I find this really interesting because these are American companies. We know how much influence the Mark Zuckerbergs, the Elon Musk, the Sam Altmans of this world have on the White House. Not just the Trump White House, but I think on politicians across the board. Why aren't they being put under pressure over this rage bait?
Well, it's a good question. I think that the fundamental tension in the United States is how much the government should be interfering with private sector activities. I mean, fundamentally, the social media companies are private sector activities. And in the United States, we generally have a tradition and a viewpoint that the government should stay out of business. And there are exceptions, and there are times when the government should intervene. But I also believe, and I'm sort of the libertarian part of the Democratic Party, but I do believe that there is a responsibility of all of us as consumers of information and as citizens to be critical of the information we receive.
Yeah,
and
sure,
to not
but Nathan, in many ways we're being manipulated, and it's not the user's fault. If you click on something and then the algorithm is feeding you more of that, you get a skewed view of the world. So I agree with not interfering with business activities, absolutely. But at what point do we say, well, this is not actually freedom of speech, this is freedom of speech being manipulated?
Well, there's a good question. I don't think there's an easy answer. The Biden administration tried to deal with this, and they had criticized from the right for censorship. Right now, there's less pressure on the social media companies, but as we see the outcome, and I don't know where the line is, but I do know people on the right and the left who have recognized that they've been sold a false bill of goods, that they're being shown propaganda, social media propaganda, and they can resist it. And I think there is some responsibility on the citizenry to be vigilant about the information that we consume.